Oh yeah, g'day. Once again, we're out at beautiful Kahutarawa Reserve to do some more filming. Okay, and we've got some changes to the bikes, the way we set them up, because we're heading for a tour up to the far north in a few weeks. So we've prepped up the bikes by getting new stuff for the bikes, and we've prepped up a lot of our camping gear and riding gear. We won't go into the camping gear today, but we'll show you the bikes. And later on we'll show you a bit of the riding gear as well. So ready for tour, we have some somewhat more aggressive dual sport tyres. They are Shinko E705s and they are about 80-20 biased towards road, so mostly road use but good on gravel. And over here we've got the mounting point for the tank bag. That just clips on here so I can unclip it and get to the petrol tank when I want to. Panniers, top box, the new lower rack, another aggressive looking tyre on the back. Changed the grips, they are softer and grippier than the factory standard. This makes it a lot easier on the open road. This is a makeshift kind of throttle lock which acts as cruise control. It will hold the throttle open until you roll it back. That's been around for a while. Here's the controls for the front and rear cameras, which we have here, and one at the back. And here we have folding adjustable clutch lever. Can be adjusted in length back and adjusted for reach with that, and if it falls then knock out of the way. And here's the brake lever. Similarly to the clutch lever, it's adjustable for reach and length. I've got it fairly short because I don't need my entire hand on the brake. And once again, if I drop the bike, that folds out of the way and stops it from being a consumable. Okay, so in here we have the twin USB set up underneath there out of the way, and that can power both my GPS, navigation phone, and also the camera when it's sitting on the front, rather than being held in my hand filming this. And so Tangwin's bike, from the phaser tail rack to the top box, down to dual USB port mounted on here. Of course he's got his phone mounted on there. And over here we have a folding brake lever. As yet we can't get the folding clutch that fits, but this one adjustable, slides forward and back like that, and it can be adjusted for depth and length that way as well.
As tested when we set it up this morning.
Yeah, set it up this morning. And if you drop the bike, that kicks out of the way and doesn't brake. And that's basically the extent of the modifications to Darwin's bike so far.
We've had to use Dad's old, is it your clutch or your brake?
It's a clutch.
Dad's old clutch lever for this one, because my old one was broken at the end.
Okay, and now the riding gear. So first up, Darwin's new helmet that he bought himself. The MT Atom 2, and very, very comfortable. Modular helmet, it's ECE 2206 which means it's homologated to be used open or closed, and he's got a standard center 5 SMH5 put on it, and mounting the center inside it was child's play. The helmet is enabled and ready for intercom, so putting in the
there were slots for the headphone pieces.
Yep.
Even with built-in Velcro that I didn't even need to add any Velcro to, because they already connected securely.
Yep. So yeah, fits very, very nicely, and very, very well made helmet.
It's even got a button for the
Oh yes. Yep.
this thing.
It locks down and it pops open just a...
And that's great for stopping at lights and defogging, or for just a little bit of airflow.
You can't just lift it up using that, you've got to push that, then you can lift it up. Very nice. And then there's mine, which is the LS2 something, strobe 2.
Yeah.
The LS2 thingammy. Once again, ECE 2206, homologated for being ridden open or closed, and again my Senna SMH5 just plugged in with no problems whatsoever. There's Velcro already inside here for the Velcro tabs on the earpieces. And this, I've got to say, is the best helmet I've ever worn for fogging. I've put up at the lights with the visor fully down, and for once I don't get fogging all the way through the visor. I've checked and I get a bit of a strip of fog around there, but this area here where I get to look through does not fog up. Both helmets actually have pins for pin lock inserts, and you can order those separately, which neither of us have done so far, but this is actually not fogged up at any stage in the time I've worn it. Very, very,
great
very
for
good
glasses.
helmet. Excellent with glasses.
So yeah, if you don't need glasses, I'd say get mine, but if you do have glasses, then get his.
Oh no, that would be good for glasses as well.
Oh yeah, it's got it even has little slots that you slide the frames of sunglasses or regular glasses into, so you can have those separate from your head, and it keeps them from digging into your ears when you've put the helmet on.
Right, now Tangwin's wearing my old O'Neill Azonic armour, which he wears underneath the Dry Rider shell. The Dry Rider was taking the armour out of the Dry Rider, and the armour stays on where it's supposed to be on his body, and this outer shell is the rain and road rash proofing.
It's a bit of a mess to put on, but once it's on, it's sturdy and keeps me protected.
And he's got rigid armour now in all the places where it's supposed to be, and it won't shift.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot better than where I've found in the past, is that the outside of the jacket wobbles around a fair bit, and you wind up with the armour shifting out of the way.
So with this, the armour out, it's basically turned into a modular set where I can choose to have it open but still have my chest protected, or I can have it closed and be protected from the wind and rain.
And mine is the Knox shirt. CE2 armour inside it, mesh, and this is absolutely brilliant. It's rated for sliding down the road in a crash, CE2 rating, but it's breathable, which means of course if it's raining you have to wear a raincoat over the top, which is what I prefer to do anyway. Basically this is taking my camping layering system and going the same way with my riding gear. Basically, wear a base layer. If I'm riding, wear armour. If it's cold, put on a thermal layer. If it's raining, put on a rain layer. If it starts to get fine up, get hot, you can take the rain and thermal layer off without taking the armour off. If you stop riding, you take the armour off and you go camping. It's very, very simple. And I first saw this on a video. I've forgotten the name of the young man. I'll put it up on the screen. He lives in the United Arab Emirates, and I'm pretty fucking sure it's a lot hotter there than it is here. And he's riding around the UAE wearing this all day long, keeping him safe and not causing him to expire messily from hypothermia, which is not fun. I have had the odd bit of heat stroke or hypothermia, and it's devastating. I nearly crashed my bike due to being overheated, wearing a jacket that was far too hot for the weather. So this thing, the air flows through it, keeps me cool. On a hot summer's day, we rode out to Wanganui and back on the bike, just wearing this on a day like today, and it was perfect. Coming home, it was getting kind of late, so temperature had dropped a bit. I had to put on a wind cheater because I was getting a little bit cold. That was it. So this is the great thing, and what really sold this for me is that Simon and Steph from the Wandering Honda also wear the Knox shirts, and they reckon they've been using them for decades now. So that's really good to know that they last, they're well made and they last, because by hell they're expensive. Gloves. And so Tangwin's got my old Revit Dirt 3 gloves because I don't fit them, because I was foolish enough to buy the wrong size. So they fit him quite nicely. And I've got in their place a larger size of Revit Dirt 4. Once again, breathable. If we're going on days when we expect bad weather, or tours or anything like that, in the back of the top box we'll find our wet weather gear to put on, and also waterproof gloves. You can just take these off, put the waterproof gloves on at the same time we're putting our wet weather gear on. Riding trousers, I've got the Knox trousers, same Urbane Pro, same as the jacket, and they are absolutely astounding. Once again, they've got mesh on them to allow breathability in the sun.
I don't know if they can see that.
They probably can, well they can see the mesh up here, I'm sure of it. And they've got nice padding, CE2 padding in the knees and on the hips, which is always kind of handy. And they are, once again, something that is nice and breathable. And if it's pissing with rain, I just put on a pair of Scott Ergonomic Pro trousers over the top. Does the job, keeps me nice and dry. That trip I took up towards Hamilton and had to turn back because of foul weather, I was wearing my Scott jacket and my Scott trousers over the top of the Knox shirt and Knox trousers, and I was fine. My waterproof gloves finally gave up somewhere between Hunterville and Bulls and soaked through, and I got a little bit of soaking coming up through my wrists onto the cuffs of the jacket. Other than that, the Scott Ergonomic Pro, DP Pro riding gear is nicely waterproof, extremely waterproof, and worked quite nicely over the top of my armour. I was comfortable and dry, which is good because it was not fun battling that wind and that rain, but at least my riding gear didn't fail me too much, aside from my ancient 2016 waterproof gloves.
Mm.
So yeah, they might be replaced at some stage, but they're comfy. And so that's basically the gear.
I'm just wearing the simple wet wet trousers. They aren't the armoured ones that I normally have, but that's because the armoured ones that I do have that were given to us by our cousin, was it cousin?
Your niece, my niece. My niece, your cousin.
My cousin, his niece. They're really tall and they don't fit me, so I've had to wear these. But they're I've tested them with going around and they're really good.
Okay, so what Tangwin is wearing here is the Alpine Stars CRX Dry Stars. They are very, very comfortable waterproof footwear and good for walking around in all day long. And what I'm wearing are TCX Tall Step WP, that's for waterproof. So these are the waterproof Tall Step boots. They fasten by pulling that across the front and that around the top. So they're a bit more adjustable than a straight zip and not as much hassle as laces. And they're quite comfortable to ride around and walk around in. G'day. Upon a time, I stabbed myself with my fucking key. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.